Welcome back to Life Lessons. We are talking with Peter and Noreen Parker. You might remember them from a few weeks ago. They shared some Valentine's success. Now, you all have been married 55 years, 4 children. I want to ask you, Noreen, and you, Peter, what are 1 or 2 lessons you learned as parents, as a mother and as a father, as you were raising your family?
The way in which you get the kids to do what you want is to let them see your viewpoint and let that be the motivator. And then if they still, were doing some things that I didn't think were wise on their part, I expressed disappointment. And that's been my sense of punishment. Noreen's voice would go up. But I think that's the key for raising children.
And you were always able to be firm.
Yeah.
Much more than me. And all our friends would wonder at it and puzzle over why the children were doing, say, as they were told. And we laughed and said, well, Peter issued a decree. But that's actually what you did. It wasn't always, you were good at being firm and drawing the line. And, well, issuing a decree was a good way to put it.
Yeah.
I think it takes a fair bit of that as a parent, from at least one parent.
Sure.
And try to understand where they are. I think that's also important.
Do you have children?
I have 3 children. I have a 7-year-old and a 6-year-old and a 2-year-old. So I need that advice more than anything, especially at bedtime. When I try to get them to understand that Daddy's tired, you should be tired too. You mentioned before we started recording, Peter, that you all have lived all over the place. Some beautiful cities and states across the country. How did you adjust to the different moves? Moving can be difficult, especially with a family. But how did you adjust, and what advice would you have for our viewers as far as relocating?
Well, the first thing in relocating is seeing to the needs of the kids. When I left Randolph-Macon, I decided to leave academia because of the potential for having to move another time, and I didn't want to do that. So we stayed in Virginia for 30 years, and the kids grew up.
That is a beautiful place to stay.
Yes.
One of my favorite states.
Yes. Yeah, I did love it. It had a lot of green, and Lynchburg was a very attractive community. I was active at the Fine Arts Center and got to know a lot of people. And you may not believe this, but I did classical ballet for 20 years with the Lynchburg Regional Ballet Theater.
And did you join him, Noreen?
No. No. He started out supporting our oldest daughter. She injured her back, and the ballet was good for her. But she was wearing a back brace and it was difficult, so you went along to help her and ended up, taking those old, parts for older men, Dr. Drosselmeyer and the Nutcracker, lovely, great parts. But he was not the sugar plum, the cavalier. You should explain that, Peter.
It was comic roles mostly.
Yes.
Well, good for you. That's great. It sounds like you have such a strong family. Are all of your children still around here?
Well, 3 of them are out west, Salt Lake City, Boulder, and here. Our son is in Germany, of all places.
Let me ask you before we go what you want to be remembered for.
I guess we lived a life where we were free and we did all sorts of wonderful things. We had traveled worldwide. We have 4 wonderful kids, having a wonderful spouse that just, and with 2 different minds. I mean, Noreen is very philosophical and literary, and I am a numbers guy and like the sciences. So it's been a great trip.
Yeah. How about you, Noreen?
Well, golly, you're asking very deep questions, and I hadn't prepared them in advance, but mainly being thankful. That's my prayer every day. Thankful for, well, we've been very blessed, very privileged, I must say. I wish the whole world could be as privileged, but I think we're getting closer. Anyway, I'm just thankful for all the gifts we've had, especially, of course, my own family, but and the family here. It is like a family here at MorningStar too, isn't it?
Yes, especially with the staff here.
Yes.
The staff is incredible.
That's great.
They're personal, and aside from doing everything for us.
Sure. Well, God bless you both. It's been nice getting to meet you, and we thank you for chatting with us.